We'll start here from virtual machine continuation only. So I'll just log into the Azure portal. Okay, portal.azure.com. And I'll just continue the deployment of the virtual machine, today. Okay. So let it get loaded here, the portal. Okay, fine. I'll go to the virtual machines. I'll say here create Azure Virtual Machine, and then I'll start deploying a virtual machine as usual. Okay, I'm taking this resource group, virtual machine name. I'll give it as Naresh VM. Okay, I'm taking the region as East US. Availability option, I'm taking it as no infrastructure redundancy required. I'm taking this availability option, no infrastructure redundancy required. And security type, multiple type of securities that you are having here. Okay, so I'm just going with standard security, Next, from here, we have to discuss, right? From here, we have to discuss. We have stopped yesterday here. So what is this image? Image is nothing but an operating system. Image is a nothing but an operating system of your virtual machine. So Azure is giving you a lot of options here. Okay. You want to create your VM with which operating system? You want to create with Ubuntu, Linux. You want to create with SUSE Linux. You want to create a VM with Red Hat Linux. You want to create a VM with Oracle Linux. You want to create a VM with a lot of Windows flavors. See here, it is offering you Windows 2022. And this is Azure Edition hot patch. This is only Azure Edition. This is hot patch. This is not, it's just an Azure Edition. Or Windows Server 2019, Windows 2016, Windows 10, Windows 11, lot of different operating systems that you are having. You can choose anyone, whichever you want accordingly as per your project requirement. I'm just saying here, Windows Server 2019 data center here. Next, what I'll do, okay, this is 64-bit I'm considering. Okay, normally everyone is using 64-bit. This is next very important is size of the VMs. You see here, guys, Azure is offering us VMs with a variety of different sizes. If you see here now, we are having VMs of small size also and VM of very big size also. If you see here, VM of small size is what the VMs we are having. See, we are having one virtual CPU and 3.5 GB RAM. Here we are having smallest size VMC, one virtual CPU and 1 GB RAM. Very small size, correct? No, if you don't want this, every time you won't deploy VM of 64 GB RAM, every time you won't deploy VM of 8 GB RAM. Depends which application you are creating the VM. Some applications are very critical, some applications are very big size, some applications is having lot of users, and also such big application needs VM of very high-end configuration. Some applications are medium size. Right. So medium size applications, we can take 16 GB RAM. Okay. See, this is the RAM, 16 GB RAM, 4 virtual CPUs, data disk. You can attach up to 8 data disk. If you're taking this VM B4MS, then it is allowing you to attach up to 8 data disk. Maximum IOPS is 2880 input output operations. Then 32 SCSI. Okay. Local storage. Okay, local storage. It is offering you this much. I think this is temporary storage only. Premium disk. Premium, we are having variety of different types of disks. Okay, I'll explain in the next class. So it is supporting premium disk. Premium disk is the most latest and advanced disk for the servers, which will take very less time for the servers to operate, which will perform the operations very quickly. And the disks, what we are getting these days in our laptops is premium disks only, SSD. Okay. And then it is charging me how much? See, if I'm taking this one, 16 GB RAM, 4 virtual CPUs, it is charging me 10,434 monthly. Okay, 10,434 monthly plus how much? 18% GST. That much amount you have to pay monthly. Okay, if you are running the VM for all complete 1 month. So example, 10,434, 10,434 into 0.18 plus 10,434. This much you are going to pay monthly. 12,312 rupees you are going to pay if you are taking this VM. If you are taking this VM, then monthly you have to pay this much, 12,312. 12,312. This much you have to pay. No, you are deploying a VM for high application, like for very big application, then Azure is giving you lot of options. See here, these are all the VMs. 8 GB RAM, 2 virtual CPUs, 7 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, 4 virtual CPUs. Okay. And if you see here, these are all called series of the VMs, D series. Whenever the VM starting with D, then it is called D series VM. When it is starting with B, it is called B series VM. Okay, these are all D series VM. These are all D series VM. Okay, D series VM. This is B series VM. This is all B series VM. This is also B series. This is DC series. See, we are having variety of different series and different families of VMs. Very important for interviews point of view. Okay, I'll just write it down here. See what I'm saying? I'm saying that, okay, we are having VMs of different family and sizes. We are having VMs of a different family and sizes. Okay. So the different families of the VMs we are having is like, the different families of the VM. Families of the VM is we are having memory optimize. Okay. Compute optimize. Okay. Storage optimize. Okay. Storage optimize, etc. Like these different families of the VMs we are having. See, this is one more family called confidential compute. This is family of the VM, confidential compute. So this VMs, DC1DS, DC1SV3, DC2DS underscore V3. These are all VMs comes under confidential compute. This is coming under general purpose. General purpose is there, confidential compute is there. These are all different families of VMs, guys. Okay. We are having here general purpose. And then we are having next, which one? Confidential compute. Different families of the VMs. Okay. These are the different families of the VMs. Likewise, we are having different sizes of the VM. Sizes comes means what? 16 GB. See here it is giving me 32 GB RAM. 4 virtual CPUs. The cost will be very high. 36,462 rupees. If you want to go beyond 32 GB, like, if you want to go something 64 GB. See, this is 32 GB charging you 24,000 rupees per month. Okay, it is showing up to 32 GB, but we are having VMs of big sizes also, like a 68 GB RAM, 64 GB RAM, 128 GB RAM. Okay, but that VMs also costs very high amount. That VM also charges very high amount. Okay, so for free trial, this is our free trial account. For free trial, it is showing up to 32 GB RAM VM, 32 GB RAM VM. But if you're having a paid subscription, then you can see here VMs of very high-end sizes. Like, you will see VM of something 68 GB RAM, 128 GB RAM. 128 GB RAM will charge you, okay, lot of amount. Okay. So if you take, are taking here, see, what is this? 448 GB RAM. This VMC, what is this VM sizes? Oh my God, you will get what faint, you will get faint. See, the VM is of 448 GB RAM, 24 virtual CPUs. Okay, 224 GB RAM, 24 virtual CPUs, and it is charging 1,94,005 rupees per month. 1,94,000 rupees, 94,005 rupees per month if you are taking this VM. Okay, 2,78,395 rupees, 440 GB RAM VM. So the point I'm trying to make here is Azure is giving you all luxuries. Okay, whatever the VM size you want, you can take as per your application project requirement. So all the time we won't deploy these VMs. All the time we won't deploy these VMs also. Depends na. Like how in our life also, sometimes we'll wear branded clothes, sometimes we'll wear normal, regular clothes also. So it depends. Of course, we'll use both. In the same way here also depends upon the requirement of your application, for which application you are deploying this VM, it will vary. So I'll just go with the minimal. I'll say here 8 GB RAM, 2 virtual CPUs, select. That's it. The VM size I have selected. Next, username. What I'll do, the VM name, whatever it is there, I'll give the same username. I'm giving the same username. What is this one? Administrator account details. This is what admin account details. This is what admin account details. Admin account details means what? Whenever we want to connect to the VM, then we use these credentials. We use this user ID and password whenever we want to connect to the VM. Whenever we want to connect to the VM. So any password you can give, but the condition is the password should be having all the things. Like it should be having uppercase, it should be having lowercase, it should be having numerics, everything it should be there. Okay, like this I'm giving here password and confirm password, and this is the admin username. These credentials are used to connect to the VM. These credentials you have to remember. You have to remember, guys, else you cannot connect, you cannot log into the VM in the cloud after you have deployed this VM. Next, we are having inbound ports. So see, HTTP and HTTPS we use to open any web application, any website or any web application. If you want to open, then we use this HTTP and HTTPS. Every one of us knows this very well. And RDP is what? This is the port number which we use to connect to the VM, log into the VM. This port should be open. Also, you should be having the user ID and password. Then only you can connect to the VM. If you are saying that this port you uncheck, if you say that, then you cannot log into to your VM, because to log in or to connect to the VM, compulsory this port has to be open. RDP port has to be open. That is what I have selected. Basic level requirement ports I have selected here. Next, disk. What it will do, this is OS disk. OS disk means what? The disk in which our operating system is sitting. Our operating system is sitting on top of OS disk. So I'm saying here, OS disk will be taken care by Azure only. Azure will take the OS disk. You need not bother for. Automatically, Azure will take the OS disk as per the VM size. Whatever the VM size you have taken, accordingly, as per that VM size, Azure will take the OS disk size, and as per the image operating system, whatever you have taken in that disk, Azure will ensure that that so and so operating system what we have selected, that is going to come inside your OS disk, inside the virtual machine. Now coming to the data disk. Data disk is the one where we are having option here. We are having option here. So what is data disk here? We can attach data disk of any size, whatever we want. If we can attach a data disk of 200 GB to our VM, 500 GB, 1000 GB, 100 GB, 50 GB, whatever you want. Accordingly, you can attach the data disk, and then you have to launch the data disk. This is a separate demo, guys. How to attach a data disk to a cloud server. This is a separate demo. I'll show in the next class. This itself is a separate demo again. Okay, I don't want to mix this demo with virtual machine demo. Okay, so I'll just show it in the next class. No need to worry. Next, I'm saying here networking. Okay, networking, what networking? See, whenever we are deploying a VM, always we have to remember that along with the VM, many things will get deployed. OS will get deployed, network will get deployed, IP will get deployed, network interface card, NIC will get deployed. Like this, many things will get deployed. Correct? So when I'm creating a VM, so see, a virtual network is getting deployed here. What is that? Naresh VM hyphen VNet. Okay, subnet, this one. IP address, this one. All it is taking some default values. No, you don't want it. You want to create your own network. Then click on here, create new, and you have to define your own network here. Okay, address space, subnet, all these things you have to define. No, if you want, you can take the default network. What Azure is giving us. What Azure is giving us, that we can take it. by default. And subnet, what is VNet, what is subnet? This is networking concepts, guys. I'll explain this in the networking classes. In networking classes, I'll explain this. If I start explaining this, then it something we are jumping from virtual machine module to networking module. So the default values what Azure is taking for my VM to deploy it, all the default values I'm taking it here. Okay. I'm taking network security group as basic. Public inbound ports, I have selected already here in the basics tab. That is what is reflecting here. Okay, enable accelerated networking. Okay, what it will do, enables low latency and high throughput on the network interface. The network latency will be very, very less if you enable this, but this feature is very costly. This feature will charge you very high amount if you're going for it. Load balancing option. Load balancer itself is a separate lab. Load balancer itself is a separate concept. So whatever the things that I'm not covering, I'll cover in the later classes. I'll cover in the later classes. No need to worry. Load balancing is a very big demo. Load balancer demo is 45 minutes demo. So that I'll show in the next classes, in the upcoming classes. Okay. So I'm just saying here, load balancer, none. Next, management here. Microsoft Defender for Cloud. What is this one? See, Microsoft Defender for Cloud provides unified security management and advanced threat protection across hybrid cloud workloads. So what it will do, it will provide the security and threat protection. If any danger, anything comes into your VM by any chance, either by network, either by any web application, or either by any ransomware kind of viruses, then Microsoft Defender will protect your VM. That is what it's showing here. Identity, enable system assign and manage identity. Okay, so whenever you are creating a VM, an identity will be created, and with that identity also you can access that recognize the VM in the cloud platform. Okay, to enable system assignment minor identity, change your orchestration mode to uniform on the basic. So orchestration mode uniform to basic, it is saying here. Okay. So where it is? In basic tab, I believe, right? Orchestration mode to uniform. Where is orchestration mode here? Not getting. In basic tab, it is saying. Okay. So basically, identity will be provided here for our virtual machine. Identity will be provided for your virtual machine in the cloud server. I'm not sure. I think it is been updated, I believe. Okay. Next, login with Azure ID. What is this one? Who should access? Same how we have seen for storage accounts yesterday in Azure Storage Explorer by Akshat and Akshay. We have taken two examples, and we have done the same way for virtual machines. Also, we can do here for virtual machines. Also, we can do it. Login with Azure AD. So if I'm checking this box, okay, if I'm checking this box, it means that I'll give access to some people who are onboarded to my Microsoft Intra ID, who have onboarded to my Microsoft Intra ID, and they will get the access accordingly. Okay, they'll get the access accordingly here. Okay. Next, enable auto shutdown. This I'll show. In Active Directory classes, practically this I'll show. I'm just telling you here definition theoretical wise. So let us say if you are having 10 members in your cloud platform working in, out of 10 member, if you want to provide access to 2 or 3 members, then that can be happen here with this one, login with Azure AD. Okay, enable auto shutdown. Okay, if you want to shut down this VM, if you want to shut down this VM at a particular time, then check this box. At what time you want to shut down? Let us take you want to shut down at 10 p.m. I'll say here any time zone you can take. Let us take Indian time zone, IST. Notification before shutdown. I'm going to get an email on this mail ID before the VM gets shut down. Automatically, 10 o'clock it will get shut down. This VM will get shut down here. Okay, enable backup. Okay, if you want to enable backup for this VM, you can back up the VM. So normally you won't do the backup. For backup, it's a separate team we are having. Okay, database backups, VM backups, and all backups are working fine or not. All these things will be taken care by them. So this is backup team. So here I'm saying like, standard and enhanced. If you want to create a new backup policy, you can create it. So, okay, simply say here, create new. Give the policy name. Let us give the name something like, okay, we are giving the name something like my Naresh VM backup. Naresh VM backup. Naresh VM backup. Okay. How you want to take the backup? See, frequency. You want to take the backup hourly basis, daily basis, weekly basis. Okay. Daily basis, then daily basis at what time you want to take the backup. Hourly basis, then see, hourly basis, you want to take the backup. Okay. Morning at 5 o'clock. Okay. Then for after 5 o'clock, you want to schedule this backup for every 4 hours. Means if you are saying here every 4 hours, then next backup it will take automatically when after 4 hours means 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So it will take it the next backup at 9 a.m. in the morning, like this. Retail instant recovery snapshot. Instantly, if you want to restore the backup, okay, if by any chance this VM goes down, then that instant restore copy, the copy which you can instantly restore, that copy, that how many days you want to keep it, that it is mentioning. So maximum it is supporting. Okay, VM must be at least 5 for backup policy with frequency of schedule as weekly. Okay, so you can pass number here. Okay, so 1 to 30, 1 to 30, like this. Okay, I'll just say here 5. So up to 5 days backup, up to 5 days. Okay, whatever backup I want to retain, I want to third day backup, 3 days backup, or 2 days backup. I can do it. So these are multiple options I'm having: hourly, daily, weekly, whichever we want, we can take it. Fine. I'll just go with daily only. Same. This is what retention range. How many days you want to keep the backup? How many days you want to keep the backup? So see here, I'm having here something 9999. These many days maximum. These many days you can keep the backup 9999. So I'll just say I want to keep this backup for 45 days. I'm keeping it for 45 days. This is weekly backup. Daily, weekly. Same. Weekly, when you want to take the backup, weekly, you want to take the backup at Friday, 5 a.m. You want to keep it for 12 weeks. Monthly backup. Many things you can do. So I want to take this backup last week of the month, last day of the week at 5 a.m. and I want to keep it for 2 months. If you're saying yes, 60 months, it will charge you very high amount. Same, this is yearly backup. This is yearly backup. I want to take the backup yearly once. This is, we won't consider this very rarely. I'm just showing. If it is there, I'm showing it here. 4th week of the month, last day of the week, and I want to keep it for how many days? 1 year. How many years? 1 year. Let us take 2 years. If you say okay, then all these backups, this policy, Nourish VM backup policy, all these things will get set up. All these things will get set up here for you. Okay, say okay. Now see, we have set up a backup. Okay, Naresh VM backup. Okay, enable disaster recovery. Disaster recovery means what, guys? Suppose if your VM is down in your primary region, okay, so what will happen here? Disaster recovery will be replicated into another region, and in how much time it will be back online. Okay, this concept is separately a very big concept, wherein you are having a separate team for that disaster and recovery team. Okay, they will work on this concept. Okay, so I'm not saying here for enable disaster recovery. OS updates. So obviously, see, when you are deploying a VM, you are hosting a VM with Windows operating system. So Windows operating system needs updates, right? Windows operating system needs updates, right? So what it will do? it will say that either you can update automatic by OS or you can update manual. You can update the OS automatic or manual. So if you're saying here manual, then you have to do the operating system updates every month, mostly off business hours. Off business hours. If you're saying here automatic, then it will take the updates by itself. But if it's taking the update in the peak time, like in the morning, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, then it will be bit difficult. Nah? If the server, after the Windows update, the server goes for a restart. Correct. After operating system. See now, see, best situation is now. See, my server has taken the updates. Now it is asking for the restart. See, restart is required. Your device will restart outside active hours. Okay, some .NET framework. Okay, and 4 point something. It is just saying that the upgrade has been done. Okay, for this software. No restart is needed to take that place. So what I'm saying, no, I don't want to restart it now. Okay, I'll just say here schedule. If I say restart now, it will do the restart right away. If I say schedule restart, means it will ask me, okay, when you have want to schedule tomorrow, January 14th, whatever it is, blah blah. Same way here it is asking. Here it is asking for the server. Okay. And if you set automatic, okay, update will be happen, but restart it will wait for. So mostly what we'll do in our real-time projects, we'll take manual only. We'll take manual only. Okay. Because manual, what is the advantage with manual? We can do the update and restart in off business hours so that as less as number of users will be impacted. If the server goes restart, then the application is not available. Nah? That's why we'll go for manual. Next, monitoring. See, if you want an alerts for your virtual machine, let us take, if I check this checkbox, then I'm getting here some plenty of errors. Sorry, alerts, not errors, alerts. What these alerts? The percentage CPU is greater than 80%. So I'm saying that if my VM CPU is going beyond 80%, then send me an alert. Available memory bytes is less than 1 GB. Okay, then send me an alert. This you can change. These values you can change. If it is going beyond 90, then you need an alert. Okay, available memory 1 byte is less than 1 GB. This is very less. If it is less than 10 GB, then I need an alert. Okay, data disk IOPS, input output operations consumed percentage is greater than 95%, then I need an alert. I'll just say 85. Accordingly, you can set here all the numbers accordingly as per the project or application need, and you are going to get an email notification on this mail ID. You can change this mail ID also if you want it. Then say here save. So what it is doing, it has set up all the alerts for me. And if anything is meeting, like percentage CPU is going beyond 90% and all, then you will get a notification here on this mail ID. Boot diagnostics enabled with managed storage account. That is fine. Okay, enable OS guest diagnostics. Boot diagnostics is got, guys. See, this is a feature which will help you to let you know if the VM is facing any issue. Let us say you are not able to connect to the VM. You are not able to connect to the VM. Now, you seems that VM is running, you are having permission, RDP port is also open. Everything seems good, but still the VM is not giving you a connection. In that case, okay, boot diagnostic is the feature which will tell you what is happening inside the VM. Okay, without going inside the VM, it will tell you what is happening inside the VM. If it is showing normal Windows screen, it means that the VM is normal, it is in healthy state. Sometimes in Azure portal, the status will show the VM is running, but internally the VM is struggling with lot of things, like, jobs are running from 6 hours, 8 hours, complete memory got occupied of the VM. Okay, or else, VM is getting late in some network traffic and it is continuously sending some packets, like this kind of internal struggles that the VMs will have. In that case, if the VM is having some internal stress, then boot diagnostic will tell you what is happening inside the VM without going inside the VM. Okay, fine. Enable OS guest diagnostics, same. If you are having any operating system as guest operating system inside your VM, then this option will be helpful for you. Enable application health monitoring. If you want, you can check these options. I'm just saying here next advanced. Next extensions. What is this extension? If you want to install any of the softwares in your VM, let us take you want to install .NET Framework software or Acronis backup software or agent or Acronis agent is there, or Git uh, Git version is there, or any SQL databases, SQL server software is there, like this kind of softwares you can install. That is called extensions. If you click here, select an extension. See here, you got it. I'll just see, but these are not for free of cost, guys. This will charge you definitely. Okay, nothing is free in Azure. If even it's a 1 paisa also, it will charge you. Okay. A lot of softwares are there. Lot of softwares are there. You can take any software whichever you want. Okay. To install it in your VM. Okay. So I'm not finding any software here which will be light in weight. Okay. One software was there. I'm not finding it. What was that software name? I'm not getting into my head also. I'll just try Network Watcher Agent Windows. I'll take this one, this small software only. This will charge me an extra amount. Let it be no problem. Okay, fine. And what is this one? Here, if you need to install multiple softwares, maybe 10, 5, 4 softwares in one go, instead of picking here one by one, you can just write the script here. It will install multiple softwares. Here I'm taking rest of the values to default. I'll say here next and then tags. What is this tags? I have told yesterday also. This tags is useful for us to recognize this VM is created for what purpose and for what reason. For what purpose and what reason. So see here, I'm giving the name something like, environment. So this VM I'm deploying for dev environment. Next, I'll say here application. This VM I'm deploying for SBI application. Okay. Then next, what will be type? This VM is going to be a front end server. Next, I'm going to say what it would be next front end server after that. BAID, business application ID. I'll say here BA04589. Something like this. I'm just giving the tags here so that later on I can easily understand by myself. Okay, this is the dev server for this application, and it is a front end server. Mostly we'll use for public load balancer or application gateway kind of stuff. Then all these things. Next, say here review plus create. Once you click on review plus create here, it will do all these validations. Whatever you have passed here in basic tab, disk tab, networking tab, management tab, monitoring tab, what all you have passed, each and everything from top to bottom, whatever you have passed here, each and everything from top to bottom, it will validate. If everything is correct, everything is fine, then it will complete your validation and this create button will be enabled. See, this create button is not enabled. When it will be enabled, after this validation gets succeeded. Let us see whether the validation will get succeeded or not. Then after that, this create button will be enabled. Then I'll click on create. Once I click on create, now what it has done, it has started deployment of the virtual machine. It has started the deployment of a virtual machine. It might take some 5 minutes, guys. So this is the first server that we are deploying in cloud computing with all the understandings and all. Okay, so what all the features I have told, guys, I have explained all these things you have to keep in mind. I'm telling you, all these things you have to keep in mind compulsorily because many things will come here as part of an interview, guys. Okay, so I'll just hold on for a minute. Let me see whether the VM will deploy. Then I'll show you how the VM will we can access or we can see the VMs once it is deployed in cloud computing. Okay. So see, it is creating all the things. See, it is creating IP, it is creating NSG, it is creating, see, IP address, NSG, VNet, okay, network interface. Now VM, Naresh VM got created. All these things. Now see, it is creating many other things because a virtual machine or a server in cloud, okay, a virtual machine, a virtual machine or a server in cloud, okay, is a combination of many things. It's combination of many things. So when a server gets created in the cloud, when a server gets created in the cloud, or when you create a server, when you create a server in the cloud, then many things will get created. OS will get created, network will get created, IPs will get created, NSGs will get created, NIC will get created, disks will get created. All these things will get created. That is what the things are getting created here. See, many things are getting created here. These are all alerts. What all the alerts that we have set up now, that alerts are getting created. All are okay. See, status is okay, 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 okay. All is going okay. Fine, great. So it has started at 6:54 p.m. 6:54 p.m. Now it is 6:57. Means 5 minutes done already. 54, 55, 56, 57. So 4 to 5 minutes is done. Still it is deploying. I told you it might take some 4 to 5 minutes of time. Okay. So we are deploying this VM where in this resource group, Naresh RG resource group. See, this is the resource group we are deploying the VM. Okay. Okay. Now see, the deployment is completed. The deployment is completed now. If you can click here to go to the resource if you want, or else come to home, say your virtual machines, and you are going to see a VM here, Naresh VM. You are going to see a Naresh VM, which we have deployed just now. See, we have deployed this VM in this resource group, in this location, with this status as running. Operating system Windows we have taken. This is the size of the VM. IP address. IP address came automatically to our VM. How the IP address is coming depends upon the region. Microsoft have reserved the IP addresses for the VMs for each and every location. So whichever location you are choosing, according to that location, the IP address will get assigned to our VM. And disks, we have only OS disk. Data disk we have not attached. We have only OS disk. That is one disk only. That's what is showing here. Disk as one. When you click here on this VM, see here, you're going to see further details of the VM. You are going to see further details of the VM. Okay, fine guys, is that clear? Pratik, we cannot create n number of VMs in free trial. In free trial, you cannot create more than 3 VMs, I believe. If you create 3 VMs, after 3 VMs, if you try to create a fourth VM, it will throw you an error. It will throw you an error saying that, this VM already existing, free trial, remove that VMs, then create a new one. If you are having a paid subscription, paid account, Pratik, then you can create n number of VMs, because in paid Azure account, Microsoft is getting the bill. Microsoft is getting the billing. But in free trial, it's not happening like this. That's why it is not allowing you more than 2-3 VMs. Okay, all right. So now here, see, the deployment is completed and we're able to see the VM. See, this is very general information of the VM, guys. Even a school kids can also understand. What is this? See, operating system of the VM, it is showing very clearly Windows. In Windows, what 2019? Where VM got deployed in this resource group. Status VM is running. Where we have deployed East US. In which subscription? This subscription. Okay. Computer name we have given this one. Operating system Windows. Microsoft Windows Server. Okay, generation of the VM, VM2, Microsoft Windows 64-bit. Agent status is ready. Hibernation is disabled. IP address, private and public IP, both we are having. Size of the VM, standard D2S V3. Virtual CPUs 2, RAM 8 GB. OS disk is there. Data disk we have not attached. That's why it is showing 0. Availability set, availability zone, we have not taken anything. That's why it is showing here all blank, blank, blank. Auto shutdown, we have not done this one. That's what it is showing here, not enabled. All these details are easily understood, guys. Easily understood. Okay. Is that clear or not? Fine. So how to connect to the VM? This I'll show you in next class. Okay.